Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Between the Thighs podcast. I'm here with myself, and I'm also here with my good friend Evertrua, the whale.
Hi.
Today is just the first episode of the podcast. Just wanted to introduce ourselves. Just start like this podcast is basically just about we're just gonna have our thoughts on things, just thoughts on the VTubing community, just interesting stuff that's going on with us. Interesting, just cool things that are just going on, just that we would like to share with you guys. Sure. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Wait, that's what we're doing? No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, bro.
Hi, my name is Evertrue. I am the Thick Orca VTuber, and I've been VTubing since February of 2022. And yeah, I'm just here with Zealous to do this podcast. I don't know what else to say.
Good.
It's fine.
And I'm Zealous. I'm a cyberpunk assassin, and I'm just here to do this podcast, here to make new friends while I'm in the VTubing community. I've been VTubing since, I think, January of 2022. I think I started back then. And I actually got started into this because of Evertrua. So that's something that I've been doing. So it's really cool to be able to do this with a good friend of mine that I actually look up to.
Aw, agree.
Yeah. Sure, why don't you tell them about the merch shop you got going on right now?
Oh, yeah. So my goal was when I hit 20,000 followers that I would drop merch. And it was actually a surprise for a hot minute because I actually teased it at around 1,500 or 15,000 followers. And then I just kind of like started posting on Twitter like 2 weeks before we hit it. I was like, "You want to wear me?" And like nobody caught it.
Yeah,
So it was really
honestly, I
cool.
didn't even catch that. That was kind of just like a surprise out of nowhere. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you told me that, which was like a little bit before, it was actually like announced. I was like, really? Wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be something super secret, and then I'm gonna be rolling out merch like literally every week or so. We're gonna be doing holiday drops that are gonna be limited edition. Everything's gonna be pretty much made by me or my model. Um, and it's all basic, just artwork that I'm doing, and then just artwork of the model. So I'm super excited.
What could you give us like a sneak peek of like one of the like an idea you have for something you're going to be coming out with?
So I'm actually doing limited edition Halloween merch. So we're gonna be doing a pumpkin
Hmm.
themed orca, and I thought that that would be super cute.
That's actually going to be really cool looking. I bet it's going to look really well. So
Can't wait.
something I have actually going on that I'm trying to be as updated as I can with is I'm starting to edit people's videos, and I've been editing like my own shorts, just kind of like see where I'm good at, right? So I have my own shorts channel, right, where I'll put that in the description for this podcast. But the thing I've been really interested in recently is trying to like edit like other people's videos and just see where I am for that, so what I can learn. Because editing's always been something that's like super cool to me, right? Just like being able to do that whole thing. I always thought that was cool. So
Yeah, I've seen some of your videos so far, and they're actually really good.
yeah, I was actually
And
editing
what I
a.
really like is the
Go ahead.
fact that you stick with it.
Yeah, this is like one of the things I was actually able to like stick with. I was able to like try to be able to edit like because I've been editing Leafy's videos, right, as well as my own, and I'm starting to like branch into other areas, see what I can do for paid stuff. So
Hmm.
this is something I didn't want to announce, but I feel like it'd be pretty cool. I'm willing to be anyone's editor at this point. I will edit for like small prices or whatever. I'll figure that out. But I want to be able to edit people's videos because I want to be able to expand my skills set on that. I always want to do that stuff just because I've always think it's cool. Editing has always been more cool than the content creation part to me, and
Yeah.
that's something I've always thought was cool. So I do have a shorts channel. I will link that in the description of this podcast. I'll also link Trua's merch channel or her merch website in the description as well. So
That is very kind of you.
yeah. um, so Trua, what are your thoughts on like VTubing as like a whole? Like, what do you like about it? What are your like positives, your negatives? Like, tell me about it. Tell me about your experiences.
So like when I first started, like I didn't know anything about it. Um, I didn't really have a lot of people helping me. I had two people actually. My friend Dania Luxu, who's an IRL friend of mine. She told me, she's like, you know what, with your personality and just how you are, you'd be great at this. So I was like super confused. I'm like, I don't even know what the heck this is. But I was like, oh, you can make your own avatar and then you can stream. And I've been wanting to stream for a little bit. I actually started streaming in 2016 a little bit on my PlayStation 4, and I had a decent like 5 or 6 viewers, but I didn't know anything about Twitch or overlays or anything like making your stream fun and exciting. So this whole experience has just been like a whirlwind of just learning. Like, and I feel like just with VTubing, like it's just what I love about it is like you're always learning and there's people here to help you. But I also feel like the downside is like a lot of it has to do with um networking and how some people are just a little bit of little standoffish when it comes to networking, but also um everybody has like some weird like social anxiety like when it comes down to
Right, right.
networking. So I think that's the hardest part with this, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, especially with like my own experiences, right? Like I got introduced to the VTubing community through uh, Noxtaku, right? Which was like, oh, I really like the way he's going about this. I didn't know this was a thing. Like I didn't know anything about this before, like watching Noxtaku's videos. So like learning about that, and then my friend, who I'm not gonna say, invited me into your server, and I just started, mingling, talking to some people, talking to Nello, talking to other people, right? And it was just really cool to learn how like a lot of the people are always willing to help other people, just a bunch of like positivity. It's like it's a really cool thing to see like all these people are just willing to just collab and just have fun. I mean, that's what like you never see that in a lot of other like communities because they're just so like uptight and about themselves half the time when it comes to content. So having
Yeah,
all
I
so
oh
like
go ahead.
having all these people just to be able to do their own thing and just enjoy each other and actually want to like have friends, which I mean in that regard there might be some bad eggs every now and then, right?
Yeah.
People that like you might not want to hang around, but for the most part the VTuber community I really have like enjoyed. I've always enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I've also noticed like you can be in a VC with an elf, you can be with a dragon, you can be with a demon, you can be with a mermaid and
Right,
or a
there's like
cow, and
so
nobody
many
questions
kinds.
anything.
Yeah, no one
Like nobody
cares
cares. Yeah.
because that's just the thing with like models, right? It's just
Yeah.
imagination. You can go as far as you want. It doesn't matter. Anyone can do their own thing when it comes to this, and it's just super cool. Cuz that's the thing with like smaller groups and communities. People are acceptable of a lot more than you wouldn't have like the greater sphere because there's just a lot less stigma around this stuff. So you can just be in the VTuber community, and I feel like that's like the one thing that you can be a VTuber. If you're a new person in the VTuber community, you're definitely you're welcomed with open arms for anyone, I can say.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's something I've always thought was super cool is you can talk to someone who's like super experienced, like knows a lot of stuff about VTubing, and as a new person, you'll learn so much just from like talking to someone, even if they don't have that much experience. You'll know all so much more stuff after that, and it's just crazy. It really
Yeah, like
is.
I think Necro and I were talking the other day about like how what was it? Just how like the bigger you are, it's harder to network as well. And even the smaller you are, it can be as difficult because the smaller you are, you're nervous that people are gonna look at you and be like, oh, they're clout chasing. And then the bigger you are, there's really only bigger to interact with the farther you want to go. So it's like people are gonna think of you as clout chasing as well. So it's like it's a really weird dynamic, and like but it is fun to interact with a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean?
Which at the end of the day, right? I don't consider it like too much clout chasing because it's just like you're just trying to learn, get new friends. That's all you want.
Exactly.
Because it's at the end. I feel like content creation is you should have friends and not focus on how many views you're getting. If you're making like money from it or whatever, I get it. But your main focus should be
networking, learning new people. And even if you feel like you have enough, you don't, you need to keep learning new friends. That's just such a good thing to have. Because if you get in trouble,
Exactly.
they can back you up. They can help you.
Mhm.
They are there for you at that point. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's always something that's just like if you're going to help someone, you should be able to help them with however you can, right? And that's just VTubers are they're good friends. I think a lot of people know a lot of people, essentially.
Yeah, 100%.
um so what about Cubine? He's had his new PC, right? Or you the whole thing where you're going to be getting him a PC and a whole setup and all that. What's that about?
So, my friend Q works on a 14-year-old laptop.
Yeah.
And it's a duo core. It's not even a dual core. It's just a duo core. It's got Intel. It's got a dedicated graphics card, but keep in mind it's from like 2008.
Yeah, so the graphics
Um,
back there like really aren't that good
oh
as
my
now.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah, like so we tried to play Jackbox one night with him, and his computer just kept crashing. Like, and that's just a website game. Like, and the thing is like what I know about Q is like I met him through Necro and like that community. So I found out that he does artwork for free for a whole bunch of VTubers. He makes like little Q beans or how he calls them.
Mhm.
And so I was like, and I've noticed he's made so many of these little characters of just like a whole bunch of VTubers in his style. And he does it for free without any even asking. And so without even asking for money. And I was like, dude, with all the free artwork that you're doing, like you should have had at least enough money to get a new PC. And I'm like, I feel terrible because like you're working on something that's, you know, that's barely getting you by, and you won't be able to do your artwork anymore. So, like, and he's a little older, and he doesn't mind me talking about it, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so it's not like he's able to just afford it on his own. So I was like, why not show him that the community that he loves so much and he works very hard for, that we love him back by helping him get a new PC. I actually found one for him that was a grand. I think altogether it's like 1.1 with shipping.
That's definitely
Um,
really good though, especially
yeah.
for a computer for
Yep,
what he
it
has
comes with an
now.
RTX 3060 Ti, which is great. And it comes with a really nice headset, a mouse pad, and a mouse. So I was like, absolutely, that would be so much better. And it's 16 gig of RAM. I found out his is only 4 gigs, and I'm like, oh my god, this
Wow,
poor
dude.
guy can't do anything. So I just really wanted to do that for him because it's the season of giving, and I don't really think Q has like a community he hangs out with. He just kind of floats around. So I just kind of wanted him to show him that like we're here for him because he's been here for us.
Of course. I mean, and from what I've seen, Q seems like a really nice guy. He seems like super always willing to do art for people. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he did art for me when I was just starting out, which I
Wait, did
was
he really?
yeah, I got a little Cupid of myself.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And it's super
And it's
cool.
so cute.
Yeah, they look really good too. I mean, even like with the detail like he has for like a 14-year-old computer, he's definitely
Hmm.
trying to put the effort in, which is super
Oh
cool.
yeah.
And it's
Oh yeah.
I like it. I really do. When I saw that, I'm like, that was like one of my first pieces of like fan art. I'm like, no way, this is actually really cool. So I retweeted it, and I think he liked my retweet. So I'm like, he definitely did see it. I do
Love
appreciate that,
that.
Q.
Hell yeah. No, that makes me so happy to hear. He's so
Yeah,
great.
he's a really nice guy from what I've heard and like from what I've spoken to. I mean, he definitely like, tries to put like so much like time and effort into doing that. It's like whenever he can, he wants to make the art for people. So it's like,
Yeah, so we've raised like $200 for him so far, which is like 2/10 of the way, and that's only just by retweeting and sharing. So, and Christmas is just around the corner, so I'm sure somebody, will help out more.
right. And if anyone would like wants to help with this, I think Trua has this put on her Twitter, like a link to it, right?
I definitely do.
Right. So this isn't like you have to do this, you need to give money. But if you want to help Q out and you want to be able to get him a better PC where he's willing to do stuff for the VTuber community and help everyone like that, definitely would be appreciated because Q is a really good person and I feel like
Hmm.
he deserves this for sure. I'll keep the link to that as well in description for the podcast
So that'll be three things I have to add now. But I think genuinely it would be just super cool to just have him have his own PC, whether it just be for whatever he does or art, or I think it's better than what he has now. I think he would supremely enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
one of my friends works on like a Chromebook and he's able to do a lot more than Q can. So it's like that's saying something.
yeah, especially with like Chromebooks. I mean, they're like right around just as good as like a computer from like 7 years ago. They're really not that good.
No,
I
they're
mean,
not.
but for what he does, I mean, I think I could send you the one that he found or that I have of him, or the one he made for me. But
Oh yeah.
it's definitely looks really cool. I mean, I think if you would like ask him, he'd be like, of course, I'll make a queue of you. But it's just for now. If you have anything that you want to donate to him for this, again, not you don't need to, but it would definitely be appreciated because we appreciate Q so much. So this would be super cool if you could do this. So recently, I've heard like a lot of like rumors and stuff about like Markiplier actually starting an OnlyFans.
Yeah, he is.
I thought that was a whole thing. I didn't, dude. I watched like a YouTube video of his, right? And he's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, you guys are like making all like this ruckus about it. I did a naked calendar once. If you guys do this and this, we will get in. We'll I'll start an OnlyFans." He didn't. He got it was like put his podcast on number one on Apple Music and Spotify. Number one on Spotify. Sports for his other podcast got number one, but not on Apple Music. So he basically went back, right? Went over to what was it? What was it? He basically made another video saying, "Hey, my mother's coming out with a book about like me and her like whole thing with being a Korean, like, and that experience that she had with her son being like a YouTuber and all that. So he wanted people to buy that. So many people, I think more than what he expected, bought it, and
Mhm.
he he made a live stream with the title "Fine" in all lowercase. He like put a link in the description and everything, bro. It was wild.
That is wild.
Dude, I out of anyone, I wouldn't expect it to be him. Just cause
Honestly, me neither.
no, cause he just doesn't seem like the guy who would do that stuff. Really.
Honestly, kind of excited though. We'll sign up though.
Dude, I might. I
Bet.
don't.
You know what I think? So you like, do you remember when he did like that gold thing where he like got painted and he looked like a god?
Right, yeah.
I think he's gonna do like artsy ludes, if that makes sense.
And yeah,
You know, where it's like where he looks like a god. Like
yeah, he was calling it like tasteful ludes, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah, he was calling it something like he's not going to show everything, but he'll show it in like a tasteful way, so it's not like spread eagle, look at me, goatsy, blah blah blah. You know, like it's not gonna be like straight up just like nudity. But I just this whole thing is just wild to me because I look at him,
Honestly, I'm excited.
I look at him as the king of FNAF, dude, not the fucking yo check out my balls.
Oh yeah. Which I mean, yeah. But I mean, honestly, I'm really excited because this is kind of like a new thing for him. Like, and maybe he might like it. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he might enjoy it. I think he'll enjoy it more than other things, right? Because
Yeah.
he's tried a lot of stuff, and I think this is be something he might like. Okay, I'm doing it for you guys, but he might enjoy it. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I think though, like going back to VTubing, like on your thoughts on it. What is your
Mhm.
thoughts on like other VTubers and like collabs and like going and like meeting new people? How would you go about that? Like how would you go about like either on like Twitter or Discord? Like if you wanted to go make new friends, how would you think you would do that?
So one of the things that I love to do is I always go on people's Twitters that I haven't seen before, And I kind of look at I this is gonna sound crazy, but I actually I do stalk people. Like I'll scroll down their timeline and just see what they've been up to. Because sometimes I've noticed like they don't really some people don't content create, so I really look at for the people that have really been doing it, and then they're like, oh my god, I just got 300 followers. So then I'll turn around and I'll be like, congratulations, you deserve it, and I'll put like a really cool like gif or something, and or they'll I'll kind of interact with like all their interactive posts, like if they say like, oh, would you head pat this person, or show me your last saved image on your phone, and stuff like that, just, and I really try to kind of like gauge their humor from like their timeline, and then I just kind of figure it out from there.
And just like
And
if you enjoy hanging out, like talk like what they're making, what they're whatever, you'll like try to like talk to them, right? Like either if
yeah,
they follow you, follow back, and then you just start
yeah,
messaging on Twitter or whatever, right? Yeah.
yeah, typically my thing is like if you comment once, they comment back, and then you comment again, you're pretty much in, like with as like a friend to them, unless it's not going well, pay
Yeah.
attention with conversation. but
Yeah.
but
Be
if
a
they're
little
commenting
mindful of what
back
they're
and forth,
saying.
yeah, if they're commenting back and forth on your stuff, obviously I feel like you have a friend. So at that point, I would just start a DM. One of the biggest things is like, don't be afraid to DM people. Like, seriously,
Of
don't.
course. I mean, you have to like be able to like know that like a lot of the VTuber community, they want to be DM'd, right? I
Mhm.
mean, especially where like they play games, they want to do whatever. If they're a smaller
Mhm.
VTuber where they're like under 500, under 1,000 followers on Twitter, they probably want to talk to you. They probably want to just like meet new people because that's what a lot of people want to do. Like I said earlier, networking. You want to be able to network and meet all these new people, and it's like a lot of the places I haven't just met people on like Twitter, right? I mean, it's where I've met a lot of people, but some people I've met
Mhm.
on like Twitch, right? Where I'll go into like their Twitch streams, right? And I'll say, hey, I like your content, and I'll just like, do they have a Discord? Like start talking to them for a little bit on Discord, start interacting with their community. I mean, that's just how you make friends. I mean, that's just how you like learn and just grow as a person, not just as like a VTuber, but like how to like just because I know a lot of VTubers have like social anxiety, and that's like a
Mhm.
huge thing with VTubers. So if you can be able to learn like, okay, don't say this if they have like these qualities, but say this if like they enjoy these other things. Like talk about like other stuff, and then they'll open right up to you because that's just
Yeah.
a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah. And sometimes I've noticed like it takes a couple interactions before people actually really warm up to you. Like, I've noticed especially like when it comes to, sometimes people on Twitter as well. Like some people are kind of hesitant because they're like, I don't know if I want to be their friend. Sometimes they will join your Discord, um, but sometimes it takes another friend of theirs to be like, oh no no no, this person's cool, for them to actually like welcome you. So,
Right, so they can be
um,
like less hesitant to be like interested in those things.
exactly. So that's one of the things that I've noticed, but also like keep in mind that like they're just as nervous to talk to you as you are to them. So it's like it's just don't worry about it, just be yourself. That I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to this, is just be yourself. I notice like a lot of people when they're, and I have nothing against, VTubers playing characters, but with my character Trua, I don't play a character. She's literally just me, just with a different name. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
but some people feel like they have to play a character, and I feel like that's where it gets scary, because it's like they feel like they can't be themselves in chat.
yeah, they don't know how to like be themselves around other people because they feel uncomfortable like with themselves, and they want to put on
Yeah,
this like whole persona just because they feel like
exactly.
that'd be better if they were this person themselves. And to a point, I can understand that. I mean, that's one
Mhm.
also kind of one of the reasons why I started VTubing, is just kind of like as an escape, right?
Mhm.
To be able to just escape from my issues, but it's also just because like I wanted to meet people, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
the VTuber community is just like a smaller community. It is growing like pretty exponentially, but it's for as of right now, it's smaller than just like Twitch as a whole or
Mhm.
a lot of like other niche YouTube communities. I mean, you'd have to like be like really like popular to get like known in those other places. So it's at least good to have these friends. So while you're growing, you can grow them too.
you know.
Exactly.
And that's the thing is, eventually, people want to get to affiliate, right? People want to
Mhm.
like get to these places. So how would you go about that? How would you start, like, I guess not like mentally, but like say, hey, how would you go about getting affiliate? And like, because a lot of the things with affiliate is like mental, right? You don't want to just get, it's that three concurrent viewers that messes with you. I mean,
Yeah, no, honestly, it does mess with you quite a bit. Um, so the whole thing is that I was actually talking to Slash the other day about this. So, because he just hit affiliate.
Slash being Regna
S-
Slash, by the
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. So he told me that he's been trying to hit affiliate for a couple years, and um, I think this is one of the benefits about being in the VTubing community is that everybody's trying to hit their goals. And if you meet people with like-minded goals, like let's say, you've got three other people that are trying to hit affiliate at the same time as you, try to get into those circles and then, say, hey, I'll lurk in your stream if, you lurk in mine. That way it's like a, I scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of thing. So, because my whole thing is like if you are just like a streamer and you don't have a VTuber account, you don't know what VTubers are, you're basically relying on random people to pop in your stream or friends on word of mouth, and that's difficult.
Yeah.
So I think that having, social networking as well, like social media, whether it's Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, whatever you prefer, Twitter being the best, especially for VTubers, would be the best way to start out. So lock down social media, start promoting your content, and then hype up a debut, or hype up, an affiliate push, and that's really going to help you start looking for people and hype them up for theirs. That way they'll come back to you, because I've noticed like once you put out that positivity into other people, they'll double it back.
Right. So then, essentially, what you're looking for is just like a bunch of group, like a group of people you can like trust and rely on for stuff like that, but you also respect them as like friends, and you actually like agree with a lot of the statements they say, so they're not like making anything that like you don't like, but you also just want to be around them. You feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the people that you would want to be able to do those things with, because if you
Exactly.
have like people that like word of mouth, hey, check out my stream, sure, they may not because you don't know them that well. If you have all these other
Mm-hmm.
people that you agree with and trust and just want to be there for, and they want to be there for you, that's why
Mm-hmm.
that it's something in the VTuber community is kind of like a lot of the relationships are mutualistic because both people benefit. Both
Mm-hmm.
people benefit, and if one doesn't, the other one's still willing to help. The one that's not benefiting
Mm-hmm.
is still able to help because they're just good friends. That's something
Yep.
that's always been cool about this community that I've liked. It's just good people bring good people, and the bad eggs can be easily sorted out because people in this community we started with good people. We're gonna end with good people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, because nothing's permanent, but especially with VTubing, I think it's gonna last a long time.
I will say one last thing on that subject though is like you kind of have to give like one thing is like people can raid you, but you have to give them a reason to stay. You have to give them a reason, like why shouldn't they watch, somebody like Bao or Shy Lily when they come to my streams? What am I offering them
That's
that they
different than
should
someone
stay
else.
here? Exactly. Yeah. So you need to really find that like niche and just capitalize on it and just keep doing it. Always stay different.
Right, and you could also have like a name, like a something that's like specifically different for yourself, right? Because I know
Mhm.
you have like a whole thing with like thick thighs, which
Mhm.
Bao and Shy Lily don't have. So that's kind of like
Mhm.
your thing, right? You're just kind of like
Exactly.
about that more than they are, so that's kind of your little claim to fame essentially, which is
Yeah.
important, which is very important as like a VTuber to have something like that, because
Mhm.
think of the amount of cat VTubers, the amount of fox VTubers. What
Mhm.
sets you different from all these other people? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's something that like is super important to think about, because if you just you're gonna blend in with the crowd.
if you don't. But there'll still be people that'll be friends, but you'll still just be there, and that's not fun.
No.
No, because you want to stand out, you want to stream. So the more you separate yourselves, the more you'll grow. So I guess from now on, right? Trua has her own Discord, right? If you wanted to go join her Discord, join her community, I'll put that link to that in the Discord in the description. And what I'll do is I'll also put a link to mine. Mine isn't as big. I'm usually hanging out with Trua, but I would appreciate it if you would either join, stop by, say hi. You don't have to do anything. I would appreciate it, because I like having people. I like communicating with people. So it's always something I've always enjoyed. So that's the first episode of Between the Thighs. I hope everyone has enjoyed listening to this as much as we spoke about stuff. I wanted to just remind everyone about QBean, right? If you wanted to go donate to him, only if you're able to, I would appreciate it. We also have Trua's merch shop. If you want to go check out what merch she has, go check out. She has I think it's shirts, sweatshirts, tons of clothing items. Right? Like, I think, what else do you have, Trua? I think it's...
We've got like a laptop desk mat, like a mouse pad, like a big one. We've got mugs, we've got stickers, you name it.
Yeah, tons of stuff. And she's going to be adding more every week. So if you want to go check that out, stay tuned because she's going to be adding tons of stuff. Especially all the pumpkin themed stuff for her avatar. She's going to have tons of stuff for that. So thank you everyone for stopping in and tuning in. I appreciate it. And have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.